Jada Pickett Smith, The Backlash. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Last year, I undertook a comprehensive examination of Jada Pickett Smith and Will Smith to make a determination as to what they both are. I, ahead of the curve, explained that she is a narcissist, and I did so as a consequence of the examination of considerable evidence in an excellent breakdown. If you haven't absorbed that, I'd encourage you to do so. Furthermore, I thereafter repeatedly demonstrated her narcissism through various things that she said and did, including video analysis. With regard to Will Smith, he's an empath, an individual who is trapped so deeply within her manipulative behaviours and his own emotional thinking that he simply doesn't realise that he is being manipulated, that he is being used, that he is ensnared in an abusive relationship. Jada Pinkett Smith, exemplifying her usual her level of self-absorption, has a book to promote. And as a consequence of this, she has made recent ridiculous pronouncements in order, of course, to control the audience and draw fuel from them, and for the residual benefit of book promotion, which will lead to monetary gain. As part of this, she has spoken about the fact that they had apparently been secretly separated for 7 years, which has caused many people to think, so hang on a second, when he rode into battle for you at the Oscars and slapped Chris Rock, you weren't even together. Man, that is fucked up. I have explained why, in a recent video, Will Smith still went and did that. As a consequence of her existing behaviours and these recent disclosures, she has faced a considerable backlash. Let's hear more about what that backlash looks like and also what it means to a narcissist such as Jada Pinkett Smith. Mail Online, through Kelsey Caruli, Charlie Langston and Sydney Yeats, state Jada Pinkett Smith is slammed as a narcissist and accused of using her estranged husband Will Smith to gain publicity for her book, as social media erupts with backlash to her confession that they have secretly been separated for 7 years. Jada Pinkett Smith has been branded as a narcissist and accused of using her estranged husband Will Smith for clout, after she shockingly revealed that the pair have secretly been separated for the last 7 years. The 52-year-old shared the jaw-dropping news about her relationship in 2 new interviews with People and The Today Show, both of which dropped days before she is due to release her tell-all memoir, Worthy. Following Jada's admission that she and Will, 55, were exhausted with trying to mend their marriage by 2016, fans turned against the Red Table Talk host as they accused her of lying to both the public and the actor whom she tied the knot with in 1997. They are correct that she has told lies, and she does so because her narcissism recognises that sometimes the truth can be used, sometimes a half the truth can be used, and often nowhere near the truth can be utilised. People have now flooded social media with questions about the validity of her claims, whilst also calling attention to Jada's affair with singer August Alsina, which began in the same year she says she and Will split, whilst also raising fresh debate about the infamous moment Will slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, seemingly in defence of his wife, despite it now being revealed that they were separated at the time. Speaking on The Today Show, Jada explained why her marriage to Will broke down, divulging, "By the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be." Now, to some extent, she's telling the truth when she says that, but that isn't her being an aware narcissist. She has an idea of what she believes that Will Smith should be, and when she makes mention of it there, her narcissism is allowing her to talk about him in that way by triangulating him with the audience and the interviewer, essentially to suggest that he didn't come up to proof, that he didn't come up to scratch, and that there is an element of blame shifting there also, which is, I didn't cause this marriage to go wrong. It was basically that we both had a fantasy of what the other was. Now, in her instance, that is correct, because her narcissism will have caused her to idealize Will Smith, seeing him through the lens of being painted white in that golden period. Will Smith didn't have a fantasy of the way that he saw his wife. His view of her, of course, has been obscured by the illusion that she created for him and his own emotional thinking, not allowing him to see the truth of her behaviours. But he didn't concoct a fantasy in the way that she has done so. The reporter explains that fans aren't buying her confession as they're hitting back at her claims in a series of tweets. Many people on the web branded Jada a liar before claiming she's trying to protect her own reputation and bring down her husband. One person wrote, "No, wait, Jada is a fucking liar." Another user added, "Such a liar. She is just trying to do damage control to her own reputation. The public is over it. We see you, Jada." Whatever decisions Will and Jada made in their marriage is their business, but don't lie and say that y'all don't see this woman has been on a mission to publicly humiliate, manipulate and emasculate this man for the past few years. It's just disgusting, added someone else. So why have that red table talk like they were together? Man, she needs to drop Smith from her last name and go back to Jada Pinkett, said another. One user wrote, "Jada and Will irk me. Stop talking about them. She don't like his simp ass, and y'all keep pointing it out." Lies. You're going to tell me Will sabotaged his career for someone he's not even married to? Jada is whacked, added another user. Jada is just trying to sell her book, because why, after 7 years of so much drama between them, why they want to now tell us that they are not even together? Boring and annoying, one person said. Other people accused the 52-year-old of attempting to embarrass the actor. One person said, "Jada hates Will, can't tell me otherwise, steady speaking on that man, embarrassing him." Another user added, "Man, Jada needs to stop embarrassing Will at this point." "Jada has been embarrassing Will for years," commented another person. Someone else said, "Jada keeps embarrassing this man publicly." And she does. Why? Because once again, her narcissism drives her to assert control over him, and one way of doing so is to assert control over him indirectly by bad-mouthing him to other people so that they agree that she's right and he's in the wrong. She doesn't care that it embarrasses him as she lays bare his apparent shortcomings because she has no emotional empathy for him. Other people took aim at Jada's character and questioned the series of events that have been made public in recent years, including her affair, which she admitted in 2020 in the now infamous Oscars slap. She uses Will for clout every other month. It's okay. We are tired. She can let it go. She doesn't want to be with the man, but won't stop mentioning his name, one person said. And again, you see, if you understood narcissism, you'd know why that is. Non-narcissists ordinarily allow the relationship to end and you move on. Yes, if you were to bump into an ex, you would stop and chat. How are you? Oh, you've got children now. Are you still working at such and such place? You are. Oh, you got promoted, etc. Well, nice to see you. Take care. Bye-bye. And move on. But the narcissist, once you've entered our fuel matrix, you belong to us forever until the time that one person in the fuel matrix dies. We, even though we're not with you, are entitled to hoover you, to try and draw you back into a relationship, or if we don't do that, we're entitled to utilize you in some shape or form. You must be controlled. We may draw fuel from you. We may look to get certain residual benefits from you, even though, as I say, we're no longer in a relationship with you. And it's the same with Jada Pickett Smith. Although she claims that she was no longer in a relationship with Will Smith, that they've been separated, and see my thoughts on that in a separate video, the fact is that she will not shut up about him because he comes up on her radar and her narcissism compels her to take action to control him, and thus she must speak ill of him, smearing him. Thus, there's plenty of criticism about her. Somebody else stated, "This lady doesn't deserve Will. She throws him under the bus, always, so that people can ridicule him." Someone else shared, "She's a narcissist and the worst type of woman to date or even be married to. She ruined this man," said another person. Another person added, "I don't think she ever loved him." Someone else questioned, "So he slapped that man for no reason." Some users even questioned if the actor was learning the news of their separation at the same time as the public was, as they shared several memes claiming Will was learning of the separation for the first time. Thus, plenty of public backlash against Jada Pickett Smith. Now, how would a narcissist such as she react to all of that? Well, first of all, you have to ascertain, is she actually aware of it? If she isn't, there's no reaction that's required. If she doesn't know that people are stating this about her, then, quite simply, there's nothing to address. It doesn't exist. However, I'm of the firm view that it would be highly unlikely that she would be unaware of this backlash. She'll be aware because, like many narcissists, she will keep one eye on the news to see what the responses are to what she's doing. She may well be advised of what's happening as a consequence of her agent or publicist talking to her. And therefore, as a consequence of either being told about it or viewing it for herself, she will see the deluge of comments which are critical of her and supportive of Will Smith. How does this impact upon her? Well, the good news for her is she's receiving fuel. She's being spoken about, and all of these reactions are in relation to something that she has done. Thus, it all amounts to fuel for her. However, it's challenge fuel because she's being criticised. She is a particularly haughty and dismissive and arrogant narcissist. She talks a lot about healing with her word salad pronouncements, but she never comes across as particularly warm. There isn't a facade of warmth or a facade of caring. She's very much, I am brilliant at what I do, I'm right and you're wrong, and you should get into line because I am the brilliant Jada Pinkett Smith. She is often glacial in her appearance, and while she does operate a facade, it isn't of a sort of cuddly, touchy-feely individual. Accordingly, the way that she would deal with all of this challenge fuel is that she will gratefully, subconsciously accept the fuel, but will just dismiss the views of all of these individuals on the basis of, you don't know anything about me. You don't know the position. You don't know what's been going on. Although she will use pity plays, they will not be extensive compared to, say, this one's wife. Instead, she just brushes it to one side with a dismissive, you don't know what's been going on in my relationship, you weren't there, you don't know what I've had to deal with. Not particularly put out as a pity play, but rather to simply say, you're not in a position to judge me because I'm Jada Pinkett Smith and I'm superior to you. And the reason that you're not in a position to judge me is because of that superiority and the fact that you don't have the knowledge that I have. Thus, she will, with a broad sweep, be dismissive of all of this. She certainly won't be curled up in a ball sobbing, thinking, everybody hates me. Not at all. Nor will she be reveling in it like a highly provocative narcissist would. Instead, she would just go, harumph, what do they know? Dismiss it and move on to the next thing. Thus, she asserts control through the third assertion of control, staying in a position of withdrawal, drinks in the fuel, and just decides these people are idiots, wait until they read my book, and then they'll understand. Which is highly unlikely that they would, but again shows the arrogance of Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.